Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is James, and I am the Game Master for today's game of RuneQuest, role-playing in Glorantha. This is the second episode in the new season of A New Hero, which is the game where we introduce RuneQuest and Glorantha by using new heroes, so we can explain all the rules and go over everything. I'm joined by Bridget and Dave, as I always am, but I'm also joined by a fantastic special guest. I'm going to throw across to everybody to introduce themselves, so please, Harley, tell everybody who you are.
Hi, my name is Harley Kane, and I'm a performer, cosplayer, streamer. I do all sorts of weird and fun things on the internet. And today I'm playing Vostora, who is the H isn't silent, right? It's Humakti.
Humakti, yes. Just
Humakti, okay.
Swallowed.
Humakti, yeah. Humakti priest. She's 17. Imagine like pale, kind of slim, dark hair, bangs, kind of long dark hair with bangs that kind of like basically cover her eyes, you know. She's a little spooky.
Hell yeah. Teen Squad, Absolutely. Let's go. We're gonna save the world or ruin it.
Exactly, a bunch of teenagers. That's brilliant. Now, for a bit of context as well, you haven't played RuneQuest before, that's correct?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, first time. So jumping in, we have another new hero in the new hero stream, which is what it's for.
I'm so excited.
So it's perfect. Exactly. So it's ideal. Throwing across to the rest of our cast, Bridget, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Bridget Jeffries. I am a community ambassador with Chaosium, one of 4 now, because we have a brand new ambassador amongst us. But basically, what does that mean? That means myself, Nick, Alan, and Mark are here to help you take that awesome playable content idea that you have in your head and actually put it on to Drive Through RPG and get it published and start monetizing it if that's what you want to do. So if you have questions about how to self-publish for Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest 7C, and soon Pendragon, feel free to shoot me an email. That'd be at bridget@chaosium.com. Again, that's Bridget, a bridge that you walk across with 2 T's at chaosium.com. Do you want me to do character introductions now?
Yeah, tell us about your character. Why not?
Oh, yeah. And then tonight I am returning with Iratia, who is the daughter of Hildalder Stone Sister. This is a very emotional, very angry, very irate. I was so clever with the name. Teenager who is up to her shoulders in muck and is feeling a certain way about some things that happened within the last 40 minutes with her brother. And right now would rather be at home.
Speaking of brothers then, Dave, please introduce yourself.
Seamless transition.
I know, right?
G'day, I am Dave. I also work with Chaosium as part of the digital content team, and I do run Call of Cthulhu each week. So if you want to check out our Two-Headed Serpent campaign, we stream Friday at what was previously 5 p.m. Pacific, and I have a sneaking suspicion it's probably changed again because of goddamn daylight saving. So you know, it happens at some point. So come and check that out. And on this stream, I am playing Telos. I am a brooding ranger teenager who prefers his time in the wild and isolation. He's a man of little words and a little rough around the edges, especially once it comes to civilization. And last session, I got one shot by this goddamn little zombie dinosaur thing that came yeeting out of the bushes and tore most of my leg off. So I'm looking forward to some revenge this session. I'm looking forward to finally making my name and achieving my great hunt.
Do you think that you've taken away any significant lessons from having your leg almost ripped in twain?
You know, I think I have. Telos is a fairly strategic-minded kind of guy, so I think I'm probably going to pop the old shield off the back and be carrying that moving forward. I'm going to assume that there is a good chance we're getting ambushed by one of the many monstrosities lurking in these swamps, so best to be prepared.
Okay, absolutely. And there is indeed a risk of ambush because these swamps are dangerous. Now, I'll talk all about what's happened, catch everyone up to date. But first, there's 2 things I want to mention. First of all, I want to say a quick thank you to Sirenscape, which is a fantastic tool which we use to improve our games. And second, I would like to say that Regency Cthulhu has just released on Chaosium.com, and you should go and absolutely check it out. It's an amazing game, and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Without further ado,
and the big thing is also, and tomorrow we're going to have an actual play of Regency Cthulhu, and you'll see Harley there. So, come and check that out.
Magic. Yes, check out the stream, check out the game, and I hope you enjoy it. So, jumping into this adventure. Last time, our two heroes, Telos and Aracha, left their village on the orders of their clan, the Valmundi clan, to go and look into the mysterious disturbances of undead that had been affecting their home. To try and get some information, they headed towards the village of the Goodsword clan, where they were hoping that they could speak to a experienced Humakti elder called Kahet, and he would be able to illuminate what exactly was threatening them, what the danger was, and how they could proceed to stop it. When they arrived, they found that the nearby upland marsh, which is the home of all the undead, and it's why the people who live along the border are so experienced with them, had seemingly expanded. It had grown out and was far larger than they expected. Bravely, our heroes delved into the marsh. They wandered through. They found evidence of strange centaur creatures, of zombies wandering about, and specifically zombie dinosaurs, because the upland marsh has been, taken over for a long time, and ancient beasts are being risen up now to wander around and stomp about and cause all kinds of mischief. Our heroes found a camp that had been abandoned. They got into a brief fight in which Telos was injured, and then after taking some time to heal and make a few decisions, they ventured deeper into the marsh. Now they are tracking specifically Iracha's vision. You remember at the end of the last session, you had sort of this religious experience almost, where you felt the connection to Humakt, and you were guided towards somewhere deeper within the upland marsh. So that's where we pick up with the two of you wandering through to this sacred place. The upland marsh is unpleasant, and now that you're wandering in it for a bit more, you see night start to fall, and it is weird. The fog and the mist becomes thicker, and it develops this strange kind of colorful haze. Everywhere that you look, you could swear you see shadows lurching out of the darkness. Every now and again you do. One of these horses that has been wandering around that you saw last session comes bursting out of the undergrowth, and you're panicked and you're checking if they've drawn any more zombies to you. But for now, you seem safe. I want to know about how you're traveling, and I want to know what your strategies are. Are you sticking to the roads? Are you heading back into the underbush? Are you trying to do anything while you go? Are you looking for any signs of passage? Would you consider taking a horse? Give me a little sense of what your plans are and what your characters are up to.
I think we've seen that horses are not well suited to swamps, so I think on foot is still the way to go. I think whereas last time we were being pretty cautious previously, I think we are going to be more cautious even than before. So I think really sticking down low and just trying to forward our own way. I think if anything can be sensed approaching, we'll slide off the edge and into the deeper muck to crouch low. It's not cowardice, it's strategic brilliance. I'll also shuck off my shield. Yeah, it's tactical.
Okay.
I hope we're ready for whatever comes.
All right, brilliant. So I want to give each of you some kind of skill roll to use. I'd be happy if one of you makes a move quietly check for it to sort of apply to both as you're kind of guiding.
Yep.
Otherwise, you could make a track check. You can make a scan check to be looking for any kind of intrusions, anyone that's about to set up upon you. Alternatively, you could make something like a survival check if you wanted to be trying to kind of forage for supplies. I will remind you that you decided to take the gifts and not the supplies and rations that you had when you originally left. You could even attempt to make another lore check or cult lore check that you attempted last session to try and get more information if you'd like. This just represents what you're doing while you travel.
We loaded up on some supplies from that busted up campsite we found, right?
You did, so you're not critically bad, but you don't have a lot to spare.
Yeah, okay, cool. I might go for the move quietly, Iracha, if you want to, and I'll just keep this out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I think that'd be the move. James, are you asking for one check for the pair, or do you want us to choose separate skills?
You can each make a check.
I think right now, with the way that they were ambushed by that Velociraptor last time, those darting shadows, the multicolored fog, all of those things are making her very uncomfortable, but she also feels like she's being pulled in a certain direction. So she's torn between like, something bad is going to happen, but we're going the direction. All that to say, either search or scan.
All right. Scan is going to be watching for danger. Search is going to be looking for specific things along the way. So this sounds like a scan check
Perfect.
to me.
A scan check. Yep. Perfect.
Since we have a new player amongst us, just to step through all of the procedures of how this goes, you will both have a default skill that you are rolling against. What's your move quietly skill, Dave?
So my move quietly skill is 70, all added up.
Nice.
Okay, nice. And what is your scan skill, Iracha?
All in the bag, it's 25.
Okay, so you're both going to make a D100 roll and try and get under that. If either of you would like, you could attempt to augment this roll using your runes or passions. That said, you only get one augment per scene, so it's a costly thing to do.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for a flat roll on this one. But thank you.
Flat roll makes sense.
I should have augmented.
What did you get?
I rolled a 97. It's not a fumble because my skill's high enough, but it's not
Okay.
great.
Wow.
Oh, it's still pretty spectacular. You keep trying to move quietly, but you're getting trapped in the swamp. You are not used to moving through this kind of terrain. All right, yeah, what about you?
I hate the swamp.
We hit a 66 over 25. Those dancing shadows, she sticks with them far too long.
So not only not moving quietly, but you're not able to properly ascertain if anything is about to come up and leap upon you.
We did it.
Absolutely fantastic to know. You continue further and further, guided only really at this stage, Iracha, by the sense that you have something that you need to find. Humak has shown you something, staggering practically blindly into this swamp, at which point we will jump across to Vostara. Vostara, you are at the place that Iracha is trying to find. Humak is guiding the pair of them to you because you need a little bit of help. Would you be able to give us a description of Vostara a little bit? I know you gave us some brief insight, but give us their personality. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, Vostara is so an apprentice priest. She is very dedicated to Humak and her religion. She's been like pretty much dedicated to this as long as she can remember, and so that's all. That's pretty much her focus. She would consider. She's quiet. She's very serious. Almost to the point where she like feels like if she isn't serious, she's not like respecting her god, and so she's like very rigid, and wants to be like the best priest of Humak as possible. So.
Absolutely fantastic. Yes, and you've been dedicated for many, many years, and you have been studying under Kahet, who is the sage that the other two were originally sent to try and find. Now, we haven't gotten much description of Kahet apart from the fact that he is a powerful Humakti priest. Would you like to make up any interesting details about him, flesh out the character a little bit?
Yeah, Kahet is not as serious as Vostara. Actually,
Nice.
Vostara wants to... Basically, she has set these standards for herself that are even higher than probably the standards he set for her or others have set for the Humakti priests. It would be kind of a game they would play to get her to crack a smile, especially at inopportune moments. They had very much like a father-daughter sort of relationship, like mentor, mentee, very close. But yeah, so he was actually some other priests, other worshippers or priests, kind of looked down sometimes upon his silliness, especially in regards to Vostara.
I
That is
love
awesome.
that. I love this slightly, just a little cheerful Humakti priest. It's a great image. Fantastic. So you've been studying under Kahet for many years, and although he is, slightly silly, like you mentioned, he takes his work very, very seriously. One of the main roles of the Humakti cult is that they have to try and fight undead wherever they appear, because undead are a perversion against the laws of death. So the Humakti will do everything they can to try and strike them down so that the correct rule of death is preserved. Now, you have been traveling with Kahet for a while, and you began moving through the various holdings of the Lismelda tribe, of which you are a part. But recently, through visions that were given to him while he was dreaming, Kahet became aware of a threat brewing in the upland marsh. So he uprooted the two of you and said you have to go in as quickly as you can, and you have to try and figure out what was going on. You traveled deep into this place and you saw all the same things that I've described. You were aware that there were zombies and lurking beasts. When the night fell, you would see this strange, drifting, terrifying colored fog that seemed to blanket the entire area. How do you think Vostora reacted to this? Faced with real danger, is she equally serious? Is there any joy that comes over her with sort of the excitement of a potential battle? Under stress, is she the same person?
Excited. And like it has to contain how excited she is to like she's like, I'm doing it, I'm doing the real thing.
It's all happening.
You know? Yeah, it's happening for me.
Fantastic. You're here, you finally get a chance. Everything was going so well, although you noticed that Kahet seemed more and more concerned the further in that you ventured. He was very silent and didn't tend to impart lessons to you, didn't explain much of what was going on, but such is the way of Humak. You will learn the deeper secrets when you are ready, so you didn't ask too much. And unfortunately, that came back to bite the both of you. Just over a day ago, the two of you had set up camp one evening. And for reference to viewers, this is the camp that had been discovered previously in the last. A little bit of
you and your 8 horses set up camp.
The horses came from elsewhere.
Just a humble Humakti priest, a Humakti apprentice, and there's 16 donkeys.
You never know what you need.
No.
Gotta be prepared.
And while the two of you were resting, you became aware that something was attacking you. You woke bolt upright in bed, and you knew that something terrible was descending upon your campsite. Kahet leapt up and told you to run, said this was an enemy that was far beyond you, and you did. You have to obey your mentor in this kind of situation. You could feel the power of the thing that had arrived. So you took off and you ran for some safety. But I might get you to make a scan check to see if you spotted anything as you were tearing out, running away from the campsite. So get your scan skill, which should be in the perception section of your character sheet. And what is your scan value?
25.
Not particularly observant. You have your focus is on your training as a warrior and your knowledge of the Humak cult, but all the same, make a D100 roll.
Do I add my modifier?
Your modifier has already been factored in on this character.
Oh, okay.
I added them.
Great. Oh man, 42.
Okay, so unfortunately, looking around, all you see is looming shapes in the mist, these large, long shadows, but you aren't able to figure out exactly what's going on. So you tear off into the trees and you escape. You can feel behind you the rising force of Humak's presence as Kahet, the great priest, steps forward to do battle. You can hear the sounds of combat, and you stay hidden until at last they fade. And to your surprise and terror, you feel the presence of Humak also fade. You dashed back, and when you arrived at the campsite, you found Kahet mortally wounded, resting against one of the tents, clutching in his hand his weapon. He leant towards you and he started to try and frantically whisper at you. All of the levity, all of the jokes that he made were gone as he tried to communicate exactly what had happened. You'd be panicked at this point. At least, I presume you would be. Would you be scared, or does something else take over?
I think like any excitement that I would have felt being on an adventure is totally gone. And like any sort of like hint of happy feeling. Like it's almost like being like completely neutral at this point. Like it's like not feeling because you don't know how to feel in this situation.
Absolutely fantastic. I would like you to make another check. I want you to make a listen check. Now, of course, you're going to be able to hear what Kahet is saying, but this is more, can you get all of the details? His breathing is ragged. You can see he's bleeding, but you don't have a good sense of what the wounds are at this stage. You know, his armor is all battered up and broken. So make a listen check.
Ah, dang it. 30.
So that's
and
a
I have
fail.
a 25.
Oh,
Once
so
again,
close.
leaning close, you only get some fragments of words, just a couple. Kahet manages to whisper to you, "Dancers in the dark, an ancient one from long, long ago." Coughs again. You can see blood pooling at the corner of his mouth. You need to find it. It will be hidden somewhere in the marsh. You need to destroy it, and you need to destroy it fast. If it stays alive, it will bring terrible things. Coughs again. His eyes start to glaze over, but before he does, he kind of grins and he makes one last joke. He says, "Don't be sad. This is kind of like being promoted." And then kills over in a dramatic death, leaving you standing over the body of your mentor.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the game.
Pretty soon.
Jesus.
Exactly. Immediately lost Kahet and the target of the adventure. You have a quest, but you also have a responsibility. With one hand, you take up Kahet's blade. This is a sacred and holy weapon of Humacht, and it would be customary for you at this stage to go to the nearest holy site of Humacht and to lay it down there as a way to sort of give Kahet back over to Humacht, and also possibly to gain some kind of wisdom, some blessing, some acknowledgement from the god. So, with that, you turn and you headed deeper into the upland marsh. Is there anything that you want to do before you leave the camp? And as far as you're aware, there still might be threats around. So just be aware this was probably a little furtive, a little quick before you went tearing off.
With Kahet's body, I just feel like it wouldn't make sense for me to leave it.
Absolutely.
Maybe I think I would want to probably, and this might be a little dark, but I would like to clean it as much as I can, like ritual clean it, and then I want to take a bone from him to keep on me.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, you would absolutely know all the ways to prepare a corpse. That's fantastic.
And then probably burn it so it doesn't come
What bone
back.
do you take?
I was just wondering, but what bone?
This is
though?
I'm intrigued.
You know, I
you go
feel
for
like I would
easy
take
access,
this
or-
one, but like,
Hell yeah.
I feel like that's like the easiest one to take.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
No, do it.
Yeah, that's cooked. Take that.
But I could be creative. I could go for a collarbone or something.
Armbone is awesome.
Yeah, I think that rules.
Do you just have it kind of stashed in a pocket, or do you tie it around in an amulet thing?
Oh, I definitely have other bones like on a necklace, and so this one's gonna be like in the middle. Yeah.
From all your other promotions, this was regional manager. This one was when I was head of sales, and now I'm a Humati priest.
This
Hell
was a
yeah!
temp shift. Then I changed career. You know,
Baskin Robbins.
Well, I feel like Vostara, like, you know, even seeing like an animal die is like a very sacred thing for her. You know, she takes it very seriously, and so, you know, seeing things die, she wants to keep that a part of her because it is a sacred and beautiful thing. So
you play at you risk things a little bit. You stay behind. You take care of the body. You clean it and you burn it in the tradition, the tradition of how these things should be done. This does take you a while, and of course, putting up the smoke is going to represent a little bit of a risk, but it needs to be done, and you make it so. While you are treating the body, you will notice just at a surface level that there is no dramatic large injury. You know, you are not looking at a giant talon that pierced into Kahet. You are not looking at, you know, a part of his throat that was ripped out or anything like that. The damage that is done seems to be much more magical, and this would be in keeping with a very, very powerful undead. It's something that has gone beyond kind of just the zombie that is back, and something that is channeling the energy of death itself in a real perversion of what Humacht would allow you and him to do. You turn around and you start traveling. You've got 3 goals, really. Find the dancer in the dark. Kill the dancer in the dark. and lay to rest the sword. At the start, you're just trying to get away from everything. You're trying to find a little bit of safety, so you start traveling, but unbeknownst to you, the fire that you started has drawn in a little bit of attention. You travel for a few hours, and then you spot something following you through the waters. You break away and you start to run. You're pretty hyped up at this stage and you're able to get to high ground, but you literally come to kind of like a small plateau within the swamps, a little rocky outcropping. It was possibly once the ruins of some kind of house, but it is surrounded by relatively deep and murky water that you can't clearly see within. You get there and stop and turn around, and you have been crouched there now for an hour or two, watching as you're certain something is out there and you don't necessarily want to jump back into the water because you don't know how powerful this thing is. You don't have a good sense of what is there. When, at last, you will spot lights moving through the dark, and Telos and Iracha will start to come down towards this same area on their journey. As you approach the holy place you believe to be following, in fact, it's a holy person. Humacht is leading you to Vostara. What have you been doing for the last hour or two, set up atop this little plateau, thinking, planning? Have you set up any fortifications? What's your, what would you be doing?
Fortifications would be a good idea. Trying to think how I would even set up fortifications. And this is Harley like not knowing much about survival skills.
You don't have a ton to work with, and you're used to being in temples where things are provided for you. Do you want to make a survival check just to see kind of what you've done, basically?
Sure, let's see.
Which one's survival?
15. We got to see how.
Knowledge. 15. Okay, so that's pretty good.
I think that's the skill, or is that the roll?
That's the skill, not the roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are not. You are not talented.
No, 52. I'm not. No.
Not great. Okay, you kind of.
No.
You go to like even smooth out the area so that you'd have clear area to battle on if this thing came up towards you. But then you're like, oh, or maybe the uneven ground will work in your favor. So you end up just kind of taking off your backpack and pacing around, and you haven't done much when you see this light. We will assume that you have a torch, which you have stuck into the ground. So as the two of you are approaching, creeping through the muck, eventually you'd come up onto the road to a small area, and as you're kind of drying yourselves off, you spot ahead a torch, and you can see a silhouetted figure moving around, holding, I presume you'd have your sword out, Vostara?
Yeah, I don't know if they're like scriptures or something like that, or some sort of like, even if there's not scripture, there's like a relic of some sort that like would make me feel closer to Humacht, that I would be like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little freaked out. I'm trying not to show that I'm freaked out, but I'm just pacing, holding, the sword and the relic, like
that's
hoping
fantastic.
to draw on that strength.
Brilliant. Okay, absolutely. So you've got plenty of choices. You could be holding onto the bone. You could have another relic, a symbol that you have brought with you. That would be absolutely within your sort of standard equipment. Or you could be holding on to Het's sword.
Yeah, let's just say the sword, and I have the bones around my neck.
Okay, so you're holding on to Kahet's sword, wandering. You have your own blade at your side. You may or may not want to use this Kahet sword out of respect. I leave that entirely up to you, and you feel free to invent any rules in the scriptures here. Tell us, Iracha, the two of you see a figure. You've been led here by a vision, and you're looking for Kahet. What would the two of you like to do?
I think we're going to be a little cautious given recent dinosaur-related events, but this doesn't look particularly like a raptor, so that's improvement. Iracha, it's your vision that's leading us here, so...
I was going to say, this is an out-of-game inquiry to you, GM, to see if we can get this off. Is there anything I can roll against that vision to actually call this individual by name, even though Iracha doesn't know it?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's fantastic. Yes, make a roll against your death rune, but please reduce the value by 20% because this is going to be a little bit difficult to do. You refused the gift of Humacht when you were at
that was rude.
Site where it was offered, and
that was rude.
Things are unclear.
Killer.
Okay. So I'm dropping it by 20, you told me?
20%, that's right.
All right, guys. So this is a 50 drop to 30 and a 26. 29.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
Humak wants this to work. Humak
So
is motivated.
standing by, you're kind of a little confused. You still don't know what you're meant to be looking for, but then it comes to you and everything else fades away. The noise goes, even the color from the fog drains out as you feel the sort of calming effect of Humak wash over you. A name comes to you, flashes of a past come to you, just fragments, feelings. Instinctively, you know that this person is called Vostara. Instinctively, you know that they are a friend. And instinctively, you know that they will be key in trying to defeat the evil that was plaguing your village.
So she's going to put a hand on her brother's left shoulder and just kind of very smoothly glide in front of him. And she can't quite see this individual. It's just a silhouette between Shog and Shadow, or Shog and Shadow, Fog and Shadow. And she is going to call out Daughter of Humat, Vostara.
Someone calls out your name, Vostara. You turn around and you can see across this, effectively a moat that is around you, that you're pretty sure something is lurking in. You can see these two figures. One of them has stepped forward and they've called out your name. You can respond however you would wish.
I'm gonna like hold out the sword as much as I can, kind of like spooked a little. Yes?
I think your God favors you, child. We've come a long way to find you.
Me? What do you want from me? Could you come a little closer?
She's going to turn and look over at Telos because Telos is her tactician.
Telos is quite nervous about this. I didn't get any god visions, but we were concerned about people being lost in the woods. And if it's a human, I favor them over a zombie. I'm going to approach, but stick to the shadows where I can. And I'm sort of hunched down low, looking quite animalistic with a hatchet and shield drawn, sort of approaching, keeping to the side, I guess, so that if something breaks out, I can move forward to intercept this unknown person before they can close the distance to our rapier.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to pull back the two failures that you had previously at this point to come and bite back at you. So unfortunately, with the failed scan check, you have not noticed the occasional bubbles, the occasional flicker of movement inside the murky water.
Excuse me?
With your failed move quietly check, Telos, you have been spotted by it. So as you start to move along the edge of the water line, all of a sudden there is a sudden and dramatic movement, and something launches out just for a second. Can I get you to make a dodge check?
Me? James, I just got my health back from last time. This is bullying.
You've had it for far too long. We're almost half an hour into the game.
Let's lose this leg. Come on. Where's the old dodge? Where is dodge? Found it. I should really write this one down. Dex times 2 is...
I should too.
36 plus 15 is something. I'll figure it out on the fly. That's going to be a fail. 74.
74.
Leg time.
What comes out towards you is this kind of ropey gray tentacle that is clearly belonging to some kind of undead thing.
Bad.
The tip ends in a barb, and as it launches out, the muscles that hold it together are able to fire out the arm, but they're not able to hold it anymore. So the arm detaches as it lunges towards you and just kind of spears at you.
Oh, wow.
The main bulk of the creature does not follow. It retreats back into the depths. But I would like you, please, to roll for me a d20 hit location, and then please take 1d6 of damage.
This thing threw its arm at me.
Threw an arm at you. It threw an arm at you.
And it's large, right? It's an oversized arm or like a regular, or is it like a tendril?
This is like it's about the size of a large piece of rope. And you saw the shapes within. There appeared to be several. You're thinking water dinosaur kind of thing. Water zombie
dinosaur? As if this thing needed more adjectives. Okay. It's the same leg. I shit you not. I rolled a 2. It's my leg, which I just healed. James,
1d6 damage.
I have 5 health. If this leg goes out again, I'm
You
disconnected.
don't wear armor, you fool.
Just fix that leg.
I rolled a 2, so that's not too bad. That said, that does hurt. So I'm back
Your
down
leg
to
wobbles
3
for a
health.
second. You stagger backwards. The creature returns to the depths. Vostara, you see the thing emerge for a second. Is there anything you want to do?
Yeah.
You're aware of it at this stage.
It already went away, right?
Oh, this is flexible time. You know, as it
Okay.
launches itself up, do you take any action?
Can I cast a spell?
You absolutely can cast a spell. Which spell
I would like
would you
to demoralize, so force retreat.
Oh, hell
Absolutely, that is fantastic.
Nice.
So, how this works first, so you reach up for your magic that everybody has in RuneQuest, and you go to cast a spell. What does it look like when you cast magic? This could be anything. You know, when Iracha casts, I believe we see cracks of lightning and thunder, often directed towards her allies, which is fantastic.
Sorry.
Telos tends to take on like an animalistic quality, bending down low, sniffing at the ground, channeling the Shadow Cat. What does it look like when you cast a spell as a disciple of Humacht?
I go completely still, and it's almost looks like my eyes roll back into my head just for a moment, and then I cast the spell.
Sick.
Fantastic.
Creepy.
I want you to start off by making a power test. So power times 5. So please take your power skill, times it by 5. I believe you have a power of 19, unless I'm mistaken,
Oh
right?
my god.
Yeah, I just got to do some math. Okay, yes.
That's a priest for you
95.
right there.
Holy shit.
95. You're in a good spot. So make a power check.
51.
51, absolutely fine. That check is to see if the spell fires, and it does. You are able to channel your magic effectively. Now, we then go into the effects of the spell. This specific spell works by making a power versus power check. Right, so I now need to get up the resistance table, and I'm just going to double check that I have the correct understanding of the spell before I fire all of the effects. Yep, so we want you to now make an additional power check, please. So one more.
Oh, 91.
91? Ooh, just
That's
made
going to be
close.
close.
I'm getting different dice. Well, that's too scary for me.
Okay.
That's a no.
I'm getting the resistance table to see how this goes. A skill of 19.
That's actually going to be close. Because the way the resistance table works, as I understand it, is it compares your power to that of the creature you're targeting. Now, zombie fish dinosaur doesn't seem like a super high power thing to me.
Yeah,
But-
zombie fish dinosaur is not a super high powered thing, and I'm just getting the exact combination.
Dave, is that
But
the
when you
exact
roll
description in
bad-
the book?
Zombie fish dinosaur.
Zombie
so-
fish dinosaur.
So to be clear, your power is exceedingly strong. You are an apprentice priest of Humacht. Most people, this sort of average power of a person, would be overwhelmed by your skill. So this thing, which has a significantly reduced power because it is an undead creature, is immediately overtaken. So it fires out its arm and then lurks up, and you can see it, lean up towards you for a second, Telos, and then it vanishes back into the water and goes scuttling away much quicker. And there's all these little channels that run off into the swamp, and you can see it kind of like a cat or a bar of soap liquid, where they kind of slither over into. Cat was a bad example. I was thinking of cats in glasses, but snake-like,
Cat with a
it kind
bar
of gets.
soap.
Well, just it's.
Oh.
It's weird, is my point. Soap is weird. Who uses soap? I don't. I'm
Yeah,
not into
soap is weird.
Yeah, exactly. Great thing you want to leave around on the internet. Anyway, gets around to the edge of this little depression, this pit filled with water, and kind of slithers over into a larger area where there's water that goes through a set of trees that can grow in shallow water, and it vanishes for a second. You know the spell, Vostara, you've cast it before. This thing is going to flee. Now, it's not going to last forever, but it is gone. It has run away for the time being.
Well done.
I'm gonna, after being stabbed by this thing's arm it threw at me, I'm gonna let out a yell of pain and fall towards the bank on the other side and haul myself out of the water and then kick my way up the hill, just getting away from this thing, taking advantage of its momentary retreat at least to reposition. Now, Vastara's magic is not particularly emotive, but I would get the sense that it was her, like, protection that got it to fuck off. Yeah.
Humacht is a common enough god in your culture that you would have experience to be able to know that that was almost certainly Vastara, or, you know, another Humacht priest crouched in the bushes.
All right, I will move my way up the hill.
All right, you spot Telos dive away. Rachel, what are you doing at this point?
She's going to be helping her brother on that leg that she just fixed. It's like he refuses just to leave the healing alone, so she's going to be helping drag him up this hill as well.
Pull the stitches.
But there's a recognition, there is a pride, and there is just like this familial glow off of the fact, like, ha, a god that I don't worship led me to the right place. And whoever this person is on the hill is already kicking ass. At least I have some affirmation and faith right now.
Meanwhile, Vastara, you have driven this thing away, at least temporarily. If you want, you could seize this moment. You could splash through the moat that's kind of surrounds you and get to dry, safer land with these two new folks. Or maybe you're a little cautious around them. What are you thinking? What's on your mind?
I think I'm going to go towards them.
Okay.
Because I heard him scream out.
Ow.
So that he's in pain.
All right, perfect.
And I'm assuming that if that thing is attacking them, they might not be undead bad guys. So I'm gonna go towards them.
No, absolutely. You grab your effects and you run forward. You go through the water splashing. It's dirty, it's stinking, and you rush up to the other side, scramble up the bank, and come close. Tell us, you're a little occupied with your injury, but Rachel, you can see. Ow, indeed. You can see that this figure is coming up. Are you cautious? Do you say anything, or do you trust them? Are you happy for them to approach, given that you believe that they are on your side?
Listen, after that death rune and that spell that she just dropped, it's automatic at this point. This is family.
Okay,
we'll work out the logistics later, but as of right now, front and center, this is family.
Vastara, you arrive in the spill of light given off by these two companions' torches. You can see one of them has sat down and is holding a wound in their leg made by the creature that you knew was there. The other is tending to it. Can I get the two of you to give your character's physical appearance, and feel free to update it now after several days of about a day and a couple of hours of travel through the upland marsh.
You want to hit it, Bridget?
Yeah. Iratia is a very tall, very lean, very muscular built female. Right now, she is completely saturated in 2 days worth of mud. It's dried mud, it's wet mud, it's blood, and it's in layers that's caked on her face. You can tell that she's not wearing any armor, but she has a massive broadsword that she didn't even have to pull out in this previous conflict. But the one thing is she has both sides of her head shaved and like one long braid running down that, again, is completely soaked and is dripping with moss and grossness and algae and wet, and she smells. She's also allergic to soap, apparently.
Brilliant.
But she is tending towards this individual on the ground at her feet.
Okay.
And for the individual on the ground, Telos is a slightly shorter guy. He's caked equally in mud and dirt, and he favors clothing of mottled greens, very hunter-esque in style. His haircut is clearly done by himself, probably with a hatchet or something. It's sort of a bowl cut, just chopped off in sections, and clearly doesn't care too much for his appearance. He has a sort of busted up looking shield and hatchet drawn, although across his back the only clean item on his person is a beautiful bow, this clean sort of bone white, clearly standing out amongst his other dirtied effects. And as you're approaching, he's sort of eyes focusing on Vastara and then down to Iratia, then scanning the horizon, seeing if anything else is approaching, kind of always moving. Okay,
fantastic. I leave the three of you now to talk to decide what you want to happen. I will sort of clarify, Vostara, you would know that the demoralized spell is not going to last for very long. You have maybe a minute or so before this thing is going to come tearing back.
I want to go up to, like, get kind of close to Telos and kind of look at the wound and just whisper, "Are you going to die?"
No.
Tell us, how do you respond?
Not today, at least.
Well, I guess we don't want 2 burials in, what, has it been a day?
Just about. It's hard to tell exactly without the sun to guide you, but about a day.
I'm gonna look up at like the bone effects all around Vostara's shoulders and say, "You worship Humakt, yes?"
Yes.
Death god.
And you?
No, but we are seeking one of his
Humakt
priests.
brought you here?
We're seeking a priest, a man, Kepet. He has information we need. Do you know him?
I do, and unfortunately, he can't help you.
Why not?
I burned his body yesterday. He was attacked by something and he died. He's returned to Humakt.
I'm sorry.
Who was he
Maybe
to you?
silence.
He's your...
I'm like kind of just like touching the bone. Are you here to hurt me?
No. We're here for information. There has been
I was his
movement.
apprentice.
Then, perhaps there is still a chance. There have been undead moving near our town. We don't understand the region or the reason, but we need to find what's behind it, or else we fear this could spread beyond our own borders.
Speaking of undead, we should probably move. You see, I kept that thing busy for a second, but it will come back. And I'm gonna like just stand up and start walking. Hopefully they come with me.
I'm gonna pull myself up on RH's shoulder.
RH will pull him up the rest of the way.
Limping a little bit, the wound in your leg, it's bad, but it's not too bad. The leg is still functional for now. And you start walking, leaving that particular area behind you. You're going to be able to walk for a while, maybe half an hour to an hour, but it's so hard to know when to stop. You don't know what the days are like here. There is just this drifting, strange fog and mist that tends to hide anything that you can tell of the world around you. It's very Annihilation. You can tell I watched it recently. The world is odd here, except it's swampy, it's foul, it's fetid. You can smell rot from the trees, but also this deeper, darker rot. You would know the presence of the undead. Every now and again, once more, you are hearing the sounds of movement. These dinosaurs, or these corpses of dinosaurs given life, you stomping in one side, see something bubbling in the water. At one point, you see a great large shadow swoop overhead through the fog. It's air dinosaurs. I say you get all kinds.
It just gets worse and worse.
But eventually, you're going to be able to find somewhere that is reasonable to rest. So you find a flat patch of ground. It's a little raised up and probably wants some kind of hill, and the plants and rotting vegetation haven't really overtaken this spot. So you can actually park yourself against a few rocks in the shade and rest, catch your breath, heal, and talk things out. Now, very quickly before we go into the conversation, Vostara, I have not given you a bunch of lore about the Dancers in the Dark and about all of the questions that they have for you, because you have a cult lore Humakt skill. So we are going to see how much you know. You may have to go and get more information. You will get some info regardless, just based on what you would have studied, but the levels of that might be very different. With that, I leave it to the three of you. What do you want to discuss?
Well, it seems you know my name, and I'm gonna look towards Iratia. Do you have names?
she smiles patiently, and she's already thinking, like, can I adopt her? Can I take her home? Because I have a teenager that could really benefit. Like, she's already running through that in her head. That family rune is probably kicking up, or that family passion is probably triggering really hard right now. But she says, my name is Iratia, daughter of Hildaughter Stone Sister. This is my brother. She's going to look down for that introduction.
I'm sorry?
I'm Telos. Enough introductions. We're looking for the dancers in the dark. This is a word we heard when our village was attacked, and we know nothing more about it.
Dancers in the dark?
You know this then?
Dancers in the darkness? Right when Kahet passed, he said, dancers in the darkness and the Ancient One, and it is my one goal to rid this evil from this land, whatever that means.
Well then, fate smiles. We are united in our goal. We would find out more about these dancers, and if there's anything you know, please share it with us. But as long as you seek the same, it would be good to work with one another. This place, I like the wild, but I do not like the undead that stalk here. I would be glad to have a daughter of Humacht at our side.
Yes, the undead are evil and cursed, and my one goal is to rid them from the world. What do I know about Dancers in the Darkness?
Let's see. Okay. So you're going to want to make a cult lore Humacht check. Now, before you roll, this is exactly the kind of circumstance in which you would usually augment. You know, this is an important role. It's something that you want to spend some of your resources on. So augmenting is one of the main mechanics in RuneQuest. It allows you to bolster your values in a skill and give you a better chance of success. You can augment something using a rune or using a passion. You will have a selection of passions that are on your sheet. You will also have a selection of runes. Now, this is really within your wheelhouse. So you could augment with your death rune here, considering that this is, to do with the cult lore of your god. Alternatively, I believe that you have some passions that might be suitable. It's up to you which way you would like to go. You might also think that actually this role isn't that important after all. I'm going to not augment with anything. But the classic thing would be to augment with your death rune.
And to explain how it'll increase your percentage chance to succeed. So if you
exactly.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that, and I'll use the death rune.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Brilliant. So we want you to make a D100 roll against your death rune. So what's the value that you have in death rune?
Where is my death rune?
Actually,
85. 85. I found it. Okay.
A lot of
experienced,
death going on.
devoted apprentice priest rather, of Humacht. Although you have been promoted. There we go.
47.
47.
Nice.
Okay, that's a success.
The new dice are working.
So on a success, you are going to add 20% chosen ability for the rest of the steam. You can also check that rune because you have succeeded at roll with it, and that's how we track experience in this game. So you will level up all the things that you have succeeded. So there should be a little tick box next to your rune, and you can just tick that, and that means that you will be able to level it up down the line.
Okay, cool.
So what's your skill in cult lore Humacht? Should be on the first column in the knowledges section.
I'm sorry. You're asking for the percentage? Oh, 75.
75. With a plus 20, that is going to bring it up to 95. Once again, everything that you need.
We're cooking.
Very low chance of failure here, but it could always happen. So please make a cult lore Humacht check. You will get some information.
40.
40? Okay, fantastic. Not a special success, but still a regular success. So, Dancers in the Dark. Dancers in the Dark are a shorthand name for the strange servants of an ancient and powerful being that hides very deep in the center of the upland marsh. This is one of the kind of pseudo heroes, champions, burgeoning on gods. Now, it is very unlikely, you think, for Kahet to have been trying to fight this ancient and terrible thing in the center of the swamp. That's the equivalent of, I don't know, a world boss or something like that. You're not going to go and you're going to deal with that. But you also know, more importantly, the Dancers in the Dark, which as a kind of stable point, you could say they're kind of like a vampire-ish or like a sort of shadowy demonic spirit thing, just to give you a sense of the creature. They have their own thoughts and their own personalities, and some of them grow very, very old. The more powerful of them occasionally can develop enough agency to go off and do their own thing, to leave the center of the upland marsh and to stride away. So yeah, that's an angle, and it would be likely that this creature is an old dancer in the dark, which means it has been around for a very, 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 very long time, possibly hundreds of years, and may be able to sort of access powerful knowledge from bygone eras, which it can use to enhance itself. Now, just because chat has mentioned something, I have given vampire as an analogy. They are not vampires, very specifically. Vampires are another thing, but just from a player perspective, in kind of the typical understanding of what a vampire might be, relatively close to that kind of, dark,
Physical,
flitty,
or are they ghosts?
They are kind of with the success of Ostara, you would know, they are kind of a combination of both. They have the ability to take on spiritual forms, but they also have a physical heart or a physical form which can be fought.
Okay. We will kill that.
I'm gonna like relay that information, but like kind of bring is it a torch or a lantern? Is it a torch?
Yeah, whatever you would rather. You can have a torch if you'd lantern if you'd rather.
Yeah, I have this like lantern. I'm bringing it up to my face like I'm telling a spooky campfire story.
Yeah.
These shadowy demon spirit thing that's very, very old. It's most likely making its own decisions.
And you say one is here in the swamps. It killed your priest.
I believe so.
Now, just to bring out one further beat, it has been mentioned in chat as well that I was timing the release of it. One of the things that the Dancers in the Dark do, particularly, is that they plant special life artifacts. They have some kind of ritual that they can use to create something that extends the swamplands suddenly and dramatically.
Oh, that's what happened here.
Yep.
Presumably, last session, when the two of you went past that kind of atoll, that kind of almost semi-shrine space, that might have been what happened that had bolstered the extent of the upland marsh. Although now you have definitely traveled far enough that you are in the marsh proper, or at least with that in mind, maybe it wasn't always the marsh. It has been extended out further, but yeah, that is one of the wicked goals of the Dancers in the Dark.
Did we fuck with that plant? I genuinely can't remember. I remember we were kind of torn one way or the other, and we weren't sure which one to go. I can't remember how we concluded.
I think we walked away from it.
Hey?
Yeah, the vision was at that plant. I thought we walked away from it.
I think we left it.
You examined it and you checked it out, but you were also pretty sure it was inert. Speaking back with Fostara, rather than make you go through all the conversation and figure it out, you would be pretty sure that its effect had taken place.
Okay.
That's right. Okay, so the area of effect has already gone off.
So just summarize.
So how do we track it?
Well, so there's one of these things moving in this swamp. Recently, it has spread its domain further to the south, and we know also that there has been undead activity many days' travel to the west of here, near our own home. Perhaps they are unrelated, but one way or the other, this thing needs to be put back to rest. However, if your priest could not oppose it, I'm sorry to say, I don't know what chance we have. Unless perhaps...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's what I need to do. So if Humax calls me early and on the way, then that's what it is. But I don't really have a choice here.
We are 3, he was 1. Her priest was taken off guard. We'll be prepared.
Okay. Yinkin prepares for a great hunt as the storm season ends, and perhaps we have found our quarry. I'll begin to string the bow and get ready to fucking kill whatever this thing is. Sounds sick as hell. Tellus is very impressed with Vistara. Tellus likes a determined goal kind of person, so this is matching very well.
I still am worried that you're gonna die.
Oh,
In the back of my mind, I'm like, is that leg gonna...
it'll go septic. I'll keel over.
Oh yeah.
And out of character, David's goal is absolutely to lose a limb as soon as possible.
I think that's gonna be tight as shit. Water into it.
Yeah,
if you really want.
I just want to keep it if you do. That's all.
I'm gonna call dibs on that.
Oh god, that's so terrible. I love it. Do we know how to track it, Daughter of Humak? Are there signs? Is it a place where these creatures habitate? Do they have remnants when they pass? Is there any way that we can track it?
With your... Oh, sorry, after you, please.
No, please. I was going to make something up.
Oh, go well. If you want to make something up, go wild. But with your cult lore check, that I just want to reiterate, you know these are ancient things. So your line would be ancient old empire, like what came before. Look for the oldest place in the swamp.
My instinct would be head
like
towards
that.
the center of the swamp or something like that, right?
Well, the center of the swamp would be where the master of the Dancers in the Dark are. So you probably wouldn't want to head there.
If we kill that, we'd get even more points, right?
You would get even more points.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
I'm sure that
You are in over your head, huh?
The one other thing that I will remind you of is just that you do have the sword of Kahet, and you do know that if you can place it at a shrine of Humak, and you would know that within the Upland Marsh there is one called the Quiet Stone, which is it's not like an old place or anything. There's not where you're going to find this thing hiding. But if you want to make a detour to there, it could possibly allow you to become closer to Humak. Could end up with a boon or something like that. That might help.
And I think we could use. I think we could probably use a boon. Okay.
We could use that
I
for
think
sure.
the best thing to do would be to seek Umak's help and advice with Kahet's sword. Also, when we faced, and I kind of say that a little guiltily because I ran away, but I'm not telling you that. When we faced this creature beforehand, I felt the presence of Humak leave. I couldn't feel him near. And so that might also be a good indicator, at least for me, of, where this thing may be as we travel.
That's a really great idea. I could absolutely see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So jumping out for a second, just to give you a little GM guidance here, you've got a couple of avenues that you could take. You can obviously go off to do this sort of side thing, get some more power, get some more information by going to return the sword. Otherwise, you need to find this thing and you need to kill it. There are other things that are happening inside the Upland Marsh that you two found in the first scenario, things to do with old creatures as well. That might be worth pursuing because the two are potentially linked. Otherwise, you could go on a variety of different tactics. You could literally just start searching. Vostara's idea about trying to find like an absence of Humak might be really, really effective.
Yeah.
Finally, you might decide to take sort of an alternate approach. You are not incredibly well supplied, and if you in a day or two, you're going to have to start either figuring out more supplies or figuring out some kind of way to maintain more through scavenging or whatever. So you might want to do some kind of tactical retreat.
There's no village near here or anything,
options.
is there? It's like marshes for a ways.
Yeah, there is no settlements within here that you would either know about or feel comfortable going up to. Especially, your kids from this sort of distant village. To you, this is a barren waste full of monsters.
Have we seen any like normal animals in here, like stuff that could be hunted and consumed, or is it all goblins?
There are small animals in here and stuff like that occasionally, but this does have a little bit of that, like, the presence of death is so spread that even the birds are gone. That said, even squirrels get lost sometimes, right?
Okay.
I say we just leave. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
let's get the fuck out of here. This place
Let's
sucks.
go do something else.
Run away.
Let's go find the ducks.
Run away. Humak led us to her. I think we should continue in her path into getting as much of his guidance and his blessings as we can. I think we should go to the, where is it again, GM?
The Quiet
Quiet
Stone.
Stone.
To the Quiet Stone, yes.
I think we should head towards the Quiet Stone.
Any chance that's
That is my first stop.
any chance that's en route past where the camp where the dancers attacked?
Travel is so difficult in here that any detour is functionally out of the way.
yeah,
But because of that, if everything's a detour, nothing is, kind of, maybe, sort of. So yeah, if you want to go back, you can absolutely go back.
Okay, I think I'm good. I was thinking I could try and track a bit from there. That'll be plan B. I think do Quiet Stone, and that might
just
be
to
a
be clear,
place we can get there.
You absolutely could. That is something that you could do.
I think
Yeah.
I'll intend to go back there after the Quiet Stone, so we can try and get their scent or get their trail.
I'd be happy to lead you back to the encampment after we petition Umakt for hopefully his blessing.
Let's lay the sword to rest, and then we can plan from there.
Agreed.
Okay. So, it's late, and the three of you probably need to rest. We will assume that you set up a basic camp, maintain watches, and go through all of the standard rigmarole. You are in, as I've mentioned several times, a dangerous place. So I would like one of you, and I'm happy for whoever has the highest scan skill to do this, to make a scan check, and this will be sort of the continued observance that you get. Okay. The other thing is I want somebody to make a survival skill check, and this is going to determine rationing, and we'll get some information about how much supplies that you have.
Really, Jim?
Yeah, let's crack out the encumbrance rules. No.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's such insult to injury with how bad things are. Okay.
So I'm all right.
Where's survival on the sheet?
Survival's under knowledge. I got 25 in survival, so not red hot.
I have 15. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You might be the dramatic most appropriate for this.
Hell yeah. And then scan, I've got 45.
Oh, you should definitely do scan, I feel like.
We believe in you, Telos.
I don't want to do both.
I can do survival. I'm not going to say it's going to... I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Let's let the ascetic decide rationing, because we're all going to get like a grain of rice and we'll be happy with it. Let the soul be nourished first and the body after, or whatever.
I don't need food. I need death.
You were just beginning a fast anyway, so this is
Right. Mock me fast.
Timing's awesome. Okay. I have some snares with me, James. Can I set those up around the edge of the camp so that anything that lumbers in will get trapped by them?
Absolutely. Why don't we assume that you are taking the basic steps as a forager, as a hunter, to try and do that? Add 20% to your survival roll.
I'm rolling the scan. I'm rolling the scan. Oh, actually, can I add
scan?
Yeah, because I'm just keeping a sense. You can add it
to that's fine. You can add it to the roll that Vostara is going to make.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, I'm adding 20%?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is representing Telos' assistance, his training, his
All right.
What's that, Rach? You doing? You having a little sleep?
Ooh. I think she's just in support mode at this moment.
Fair enough.
If you'd like, you could burn a bit of spirit magic and try and heal. You try and heal the leg.
Oh, that's amazing!
Flashbacks to last session. Yeah.
So just make a. You're only 2 damage down, so it should just be 1 spirit magic heal spell. So make a power check.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll for scan.
Excellent, please
Might
do.
augment, actually, because my scan kind of sucks.
And in the second, Vostara will get you to roll. Would you like to augment this? Oh, actually, it's kind of the same scene. This is the extended, you're meeting, you're getting together. So we'll say you used your augment previously, so roll flat at this stage.
Okay.
Got it?
31. And I think I got a 35.
Oh, fantastic. Okay,
Yay!
actually, yeah, very
Well done.
successful.
Teamwork, dreamwork. I'm going to augment with Beast. I'm going to get into my animalistic state and I'm going to sort of like scramble up a tree or something and squat there looking around, keeping an eye on things. And one with the squat.
Awesome.
Nice.
So first I'm
Perfect. Please
augmenting.
make a beast rune.
It's a success.
Success.
22
plus
under
20%.
75. It's a plus 20. Waka 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 waka. Scan
Waka
is
waka.
now 45 plus 20. 65. Hey, there's a chance. I keep an eye out for horrible dinosaurs, zombies, all of the above. James, I fail. It's 81.
Damn.
Oh, god damn, because there is so much following you.
Damn.
Whoops.
With a fail, you know that there is something out there, but you don't know what.
Hate
and
that.
secondly, you know that whatever that flying thing is making passes, but you are not able to determine a pattern
Oh
for it.
no.
Oh boy.
So, we've got that. How did you go on your power roll to cast the spell, Arecha?
14 under 70.
Okay, 14, that's fine. Spell will proceed as normal. You can restore your health. And you
Thank
succeeded, as we have discussed, the survival check. So, you had enough wherewithal to gather up a couple of supplies from the tent before you had to leave hastily. You know, you took a risk and it got you followed, but as a result, you were well prepared. So you can take out your rations and you can put them together and you can count them through. You, with all of this, and plus the assistance that Telos is going to get by doing some low-level hunting and foraging, you are going to be assumed you will have about a week in the upland marsh before you have to start worrying about supplies.
Oh, okay.
So,
Of course, we have to spend a week in the upland marsh, so you know that's
Of
its
course,
own
exactly,
punishment.
yeah. this is like you inherit a mansion, but you have to spend a week in the upland marsh to get it. You know, exactly. Brilliant. So you sleep, you rest during the night.
No.
That you are aware of. Nothing happens, but I'm going to make a series of rolls, some real, some fake, to
You
build
wouldn't.
suspense.
You wouldn't. He will.
That's
You
exactly
don't
the
have
kind of
the
thing I would do.
gall.
He will.
I keep rolling crits on the fake ones.
Mm-hmm.
Boo.
Let me record a little something.
I feel good. I feel refreshed in the morning. I'm ready to face the day. Get back in the mud.
Okay. The one thing you will notice, this is following up your successful check, Vostara. When you all awaken, you get ready. During the night, something has made it to your bags and has taken some of the food. Not a large amount, literally a tiny bit. It didn't disturb you. None of you saw it. And it took food specifically.
Well, I think we should get rid of all the food.
Wait, what?
We need to eat.
I mean, you can just fast like I am.
We can fast for a while. We don't know how long we'll be here, though. And hunting has proven dangerous. Although if something is following the food...
Can you tell what it is? Tell us.
I'm gonna crouch down and whichever pack was holding it. Were there like straps done? Does it look like something with the dexterity to get into a pack has opened this? Or is there signs of like just like ripping stuff out of it?
You make a track check. -20 because it's hard to find this thing. +20 because you're asking the right kind of
Got
questions.
animal lore?
This is going to be track.
Okay. Hell yeah, that's better. Okay, -20, was it?
No, because you asked the right questions, so +20.
Oh, well, good for me. Math. 70 math. I got 95 in track.
Oh, wow.
Good at
Look for
this
it.
is your skill set.
Okay. I rolled a 13. I think that's a special.
It is a special.
85. Yes, that's a special.
So the thing that crept up towards you in the night got a special too.
Boo.
You are able to, so it definitely human intelligence, snuck
Hate
through,
that.
opened up your pack took stuff out, left very few tracks and deliberately tried to conceal them, but also appeared to be injured, you believe, and that is what gave them away. At one point, you see them as they're moving around the edge of one of the pools of water, using the mud and the lapping kind of marshlands to hide signs of their passage. They stumble, and you catch once again one of these hoof prints.
The goddamn centaur
Really?
sneak up on us while we were sleeping.
That is your suspicion.
We are the worst at keeping watch.
We were very tired.
You're exhausted, and it rolled disturbingly well.
Fucking horse
How
thing.
did we miss that? Really? This is a full-size centaur came in and did this. This is like a baby centaur.
Sometimes
miniature
the
one,
dice
right?
tell a weirder story, and besides, it would have just been. Maybe you see a shadow and it wouldn't have tried anything.
Actually,
but,
what we
you know.
probably did, because thinking smart, we stashed all the food up the tree. We're like, nothing will get up there. And Sandra
weird,
just walked
like,
up and grabbed it.
It's like on its tiptoes, tip hoof.
Would we be able to
Yanked it.
follow these tracks, James, if we wanted to seek out this centaur?
It would be a diversion of your current path, but yes, you absolutely could.
Maybe we just keep an eye out. I mean, maybe they're just hungry as well. There's little to eat around here, and it only took
So
a
you
little.
guys know what it is?
We
I
believe.
don't, right? I don't know.
I'll share. I'll say we believe this is a centaur. We've seen signs of them elsewhere, but they might be infected by some madness. These are not necessarily wholly sane.
As
Is it trying?
As a note of just sort of player-facing info for Harley, great way to think of centaurs is just consider them elves. You know, they are hiding off in their own little area, doing their own thing, very nature-aligned, a little separate for everything. Now, once again, like the vampire analogy, they're not elves. Elves are another thing. But that
where
that
they
is
fit
a
in
nice
this
way
space.
to just sort of pocket them. It's a little more complex than that, but that's the casual idea. Elder race lore is the skill that would be associated in getting detailed information, and unfortunately, we are yet to delve deep enough into specific elements of them.
You think if we left a little bit, not all of it, like a little bit, it wouldn't follow us?
I think it'll follow us whether we leave breadcrumbs or not.
But it's not a
It's not
crazy
attacking
idea.
us.
If we leave it a gift, maybe we can improve relations when we do meet with it. Rather than have this being, you know, it follows us, it finds us, it tries to kill us. We give it something now. In theory, they can read. We leave a note and we say, we come in peace. We don't want to fight you. Maybe that will appease it.
Rachel does not like this idea. She's
We-
completely against this.
we
Like,
also
we don't
don't
have the
have a ton to
resources
give
to
up.
spread this. Yeah, we don't have the resources to spread this out, and whatever madness it had it banging its face against a tree, we can't. What if it spreads? What if it's airborne? What if it's this? I don't think this is a good idea.
Well, maybe as long as it doesn't get closer, then we just guard our bags a little bit better.
We at
Ooh,
least
the
know
look
what
she
is
throws at
hunting us.
Telos. The look she throws at Telos because it was his idea to put it in a tree in the first place.
Telos ignores it.
That scalding stare on the side of his
I'm
face.
looking into that. We know what is hunting us now, so we can plan for it. This thing is in some way sensible. It only took a little bit. It could have taken a lot. Probably it is just hungry. So let us be prepared. When we next come across it, hopefully we can deal with it. It could have
I'm gonna
attacked us
like
while we
sand under my
slept.
breath, like one of the things.
Right.
Ready to go?
Let's move.
Okay. And so your journey begins. So to clarify, you are not leaving the ration behind, which means you'll have 6 days left. One of your days has been nicked by the centaur.
Frickin' horse.
And you will begin on your way traveling through the marsh. you are heading toward the Quiet Stone, which is a place that you know you would have visited once or twice before. Usually, when you go on a pilgrimage to the Quiet Stone with the rest of your Humakti brethren, Vostora, you would have gone with quite a few people guarded because this is a dangerous area. You are feeling significantly less well prepared, and the marsh also seems significantly nastier.
Is the Quiet Stone always in the marsh, or is this in the section that it's spread towards?
No, the Quiet Stone is always in the
Okay,
marsh.
all right. So
the Quiet Stone has been, it has been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the collection of you continue ahead, moving through. You're going to spot a couple of things across the course of the day. And if you want to engage with any of them, you can basically. Otherwise, we're just going to assume that you just focus all of your energy on getting to the Quiet Stone and doing it fast. That shadow up ahead is still there. And occasionally you see it descend around. And at one point, you do see it swooping overhead, and it looks like it has something clutched in its talons, or it's picked something up and it's flying it across. You hear actually.
Is it horse
who has the
size?
highest listen score?
Really worried that it picked up a horse.
If that pterodactyl's abducted a whole ass horse, I am not going
worried that
near
a
it.
horse just went.
You've guessed it. I was going to see
It's
if you
a
could make a
horse?
check to hear the horses
really
that
picked up
have
a horse?
that fled and seemed to scatter through. It appears that this thing has picked up one of them. So this is a huge
Jesus
creature.
Christ.
Yeah, big thing to hunt, Dave. For you. There you go. Secondly,
Do we ever get a closer look at it? I would like to try and see what that is, because I think it's a pterodactyl. I think
absolutely.
it's a pterodactyl.
What's your strategy? How are you going to get a better look at it?
I would like to. I mean, I think if this thing seems to be strafing the similar area to us, I'm concerned it might be hunting us, or maybe the horses are following us, so it's hunting the horses. I don't know. Either way, it's best to know what it is. I guess if we get to a point where we're breaking for lunch, or just take a rest, I'm gonna try and scramble up a tree and just get eyes on it. I know it's a marsh; everything's kind of squat and buggy, and there's fog everywhere, but
the fog is a little lesser in the daytime, and this sort of colorful fog is gone, so you can see a bit better. You scramble up a tree. I'll get you to make a scan check.
Okay, I will do so. Scan. Yep, 35, 45. So just rolling under 46.
No. 20.
46.
What would you get?
I rolled one over. I rolled a 46.
Trash. Damn nice.
Okay, I'm just trying to think because are you just
I
one
failed.
over?
I failed.
I know, but I want to think of a way that you failed.
Oh, you want to mock me?
By just
like
one.
a cool moment of like, what would you? Do you have any thoughts? What stops you?
Oh, you know what'd be
one wrong
sweet?
thing happened?
I'm up there in the tree, right? And there's fog all around. It's hanging low and sort of opaque. You can barely see through it. Down underneath, I can just make out the sounds of Ostara and Araja talking, muffled by the fog. I'm looking around for that freaking thing. And then it, like, clips, like it swoops right over where we are, brushing along the tree line. I have to, like, duck down. And so all I get is the sense of something huge and winged that just rips across us and back into the fog. And now I'm just terrified that it's out there and I still don't know what it is.
I love that. That's fantastic. You
Brilliant,
scramble
Dave.
back down.
Good job.
You rejoin the others.
I come down to the tree and I go, there is something up there. I think it might be following us. Now we have the centaur, the dancers, and whatever that thing is. We need to be quiet and we need to avoid anything else it might be hunting. It looks like it's going for horses, so this thing can lift up big things. So quiet as we can.
Horses?
That is more words than I've heard him say at one time in the last 12 sessions that we have gamed together. Rachel is literally like hands over her shoulders like, is this what he looks like when he's scared? This is fascinating. He speaks.
Quiet.
Horses, for reference as well, Harley. The other two found. There appears to have been some kind of disaster where a collection of horses have been released into the marsh. Probably, if you had to guess, because the marsh expanded and swallowed a horse farm or something like that. And as a result, there's a lot of these poor things running terrified through the swamps.
A horse farm.
Is there a fancy word for horse farm?
A ranch?
A ranch? Okay, there we go. Ranch.
Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Stable something.
Pterodactyls
It feels good
abducting
today, ranch.
cowboys.
All right.
Okay.
Oh.
We'll stay
Continuing on,
quiet.
as I
We'll stay
mentioned,
low.
you will once again go past all of these sort of heavy pools. You are not sure if the thing that you are worried about is still in there lurking around, but as you get closer and closer to the Quiet Stone, you will notice that the pools are getting bigger. You know, the swamp is becoming more and more kind of like mangrove trees and water. It's getting harder and harder to keep a consistent foot on dry land. You camp again that night, settling down, sleeping, resting, reducing your rations to 5. You're not sure if this centaur thing is going to come back. Are there any additional steps you would like to take?
God damn it. How do you outwit a centaur?
I'll stay up.
All night?
You want to try and stay up the whole night?
I'll stay
What
up.
if I hold it? What if I just hold it in my I cuddle with the
Hold
bag
bags. Yes.
so that if they come and try and bother it, I'll wake up.
I'm just concerned that if we make it too hard for this thing to get food, it will go for us instead. Truth told, it
Hasn't
takes
hurt.
one ration. We can find another. But if we make it impossible for it to do so, and it feels like it must attack to feed, we could make things worse.
I'll stay up. It's fine.
We could take turns.
Well,
I
we
think
did watch
Rachel
this
is
last
suggesting
night.
that she'll stay the
Yeah,
whole night.
stay up the
She'll-
entire time. Yeah.
Okay.
Will you be okay tomorrow?
Creatures on the brink of starvation are dangerous. You said it was
And we don't
injured.
want to give it anything, right?
We don't have the supplies to spread.
Not
Girls.
even a half a cookie.
Little protein bar.
Have a cookie for the
This is
centaur.
literally the...
I
it's
just
like,
imagine these like kumakti cookies. You know?
Oh
like,
yes!
All the sword shaped or a death.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just... We're
They're
doing...
chocolate,
it's
obviously.
like if you give a mouse a cookie, but it's if you give a centaur a cookie, this frickin' thing is going to come back with all of its family and...
With all of his friends and
Raid us
family
for-
the next day. Feed us.
Whoa.
Okay. So, at this stage, I'm assuming the two of you are going to head to bed, and Rachel, you're going to stay up the whole night.
I mean,
Yeah.
we did watch this previously. How about we... Like, Vostara and I will split half, so we'll each do a half a night, and Rachel will stay up the whole night. So we kind of always have two
Yep.
people on watch, I guess the intent. Try and make it a little easier to catch
Yeah.
anything sneaking up.
Okay. Yep, that makes
Or
perfect
swooping
sense to me.
down.
Or swooping down. Oh, I didn't think of that.
Or swooping down.
Right. So the two of you split the evening. Then one of you staying up half, one of you staying up the other half. You're able to rest and restore a little bit. Since you were staying up the whole night, Rachel, I'd like you to make for me a scan check. And since you were kind of setting yourself up here, you've parked, you've taken additional steps, you can add plus 20 to the roll.
Oh, nice. Can I augment on top of that?
You can augment on top of that. That's fine. Yep.
All
what,
right, so
what are you going to augment with?
I think if you allow me, this is going to be a passion, love of family.
Yeah, this is fine. You're traveling with Telos, so it works just fine.
Yeah.
And your
right.
extended family. New strange
extended
Humakti.
Yeah, this
Get in
Humakti
the
cousin
tribe.
that she's inherited. Yeah. That's a 17 under 80 on the passion check.
Oh, it's
Oh my
one off.
god, okay. That is pretty good. I think you're just
One
short
off.
of a special,
One off
but
a
that is
special.
still... Yeah. Wow, well.
All right.
Okay.
So.
For context, a
Finn
special
held
is
Jim.
what, a fifth of the roll under, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fifth.
I believe so. It is. You look very much like a hunter, Telos. You look like the kind of person who's pretty good at spotting stuff.
Yarp.
So, I think it is entirely reasonable that the sneaky assailant would wait until you are asleep, which means that Iracha and Vostara, you are the two who are kind of sitting up.
Hang on a second. I think that was just Iracha's augment. I think the actual roll
Oh, that was
is-
the augment. Sorry, my bad. Oh, okay. So plus 20%. I keep doing that. I keep assuming the roll is correct.
No, you're okay. You're okay. So I'm sending help. The scan base is 25. You're giving me another 20, so 45, and then the augment
65. Yeah, so 65.
Come on.
Okay, 7.
Oh my god.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I
spectacular.
don't know if it's what it is.
I think
but
that is
7.
just 35. That would be. That's a special.
Yeah, special success. That's fantastic. Okay, so as maintained, except we will say that with the special you'll get some additional results, but also you will be able to spot this early and quietly awake and tell us if you should wish. You're currently asleep. But first of all, I'm just interested from a dynamics perspective. The two of you, Vostara and Iracha, you sit around at one point. You spend like a couple of hours just basically sitting against some like rocky outcropping that you're camping against. Do we get any campfire conversation? What's the style of your resting and waiting?
I think Iracha is on a pace circuit situation. So she probably doesn't have a lot of conversation to have because, let's be honest, she's tired. She's exhausted. Her irritation, her frustration, and her control issues have her staying up, but she'd much rather be asleep.
Yep.
So I think this is more like gritty, angrily pacing. But in a way that she's not trying to make Vostar uncomfortable or to direct it her way. So she's probably doing her best way to avoid her, like making eye contact, doing one of those like fake smiles, and then continuing on that circuit.
Like, and out of nowhere in the middle of the night, I'm gonna go, do you know any good jokes?
What? I'm sorry. Say that again?
Like, something funny? You know anything funny?
That's going to pause her for just long enough to go, I don't know the last time I've laughed at a joke. Or the last time I found something actually funny.
Yeah, I have that problem too. I always, secretly though, you can't tell anybody, but he liked to make jokes.
It's pretty uncommon for your clan, isn't it? Not clan, tribe. What is that?
Cult.
Cult. That's pretty uncommon for your cult, isn't it?
It is. That's why it's a secret. And I've been trying to think of a good one, but I don't think I'm very funny.
It's hard to find things to laugh at nowadays. It's been a rough couple of years. But I believe in you. If you're looking for that joke, I'm sure you'll find it, or it'll find you.
Or maybe, do you think your brother has some jokes?
No, he's not funny at all. And she walks away.
Fantastic. And as you turn to walk away, just as that conversation ends, you spot something creeping through a patch of trees just at the outskirts of the kind of safe area that you cleared where you could camp. You are silhouetted by the small torches and fire that you've set up to keep you warm and give you light in case anything should jump around and try to attack you, which means that this thing can't see that it's looking at you. It's a centaur, clearly, lit by firelight. You can see the strong body of a horse, 4 legs, everything that you would expect, very tall, and you can see the upper body of a human. But there's also additional things. There is something slightly wrong with this creature. Where the horse and the human connect, there is no kind of seamless, wonderful, merge. There is horrendous stitch lines and evidence of like medical grafting that covers the entire base. Not only that, but it looks like the back half of the centaur is from a different horse. The fur is a different color. This thing is, has been patched together. One of the arms on the torso looks incorrect. It's a real body horror kind of stitched together mess. And the way it moves, it looks like it is in agony. Every time it kind of reaches out, it kind of twists itself as bits of its body kind of like grind and click and unnaturally move against each other in ways that you do not think bodies should. You can see that there is a madness in its one good eye. The other, which has a series of stitch marks around, is kind of folded over itself, and you can't really see what's going on. But it's peeking out, and it's looking towards the camp, and it looks cautious. It has some armor, like a half bit of plate across one arm, and but it's half opened bits of it, and let it kind of hang out, because you can see these places where the stitches have torn on its body, leaving these red rashes and wounds, and it looks like having the armor touch that is too much. So its armor is in a state of half wear. It continues to watch and then moves slowly, stalking around the outside. As I mentioned, you can wake Telos, and seeing Irecha's reaction, Vostara, you can also see this. Unless you make any steps to try and hide the fact that you spotted something, Irecha.
No, she's actually going to walk right up on it.
Yes.
The conversation she just had with Vostara actually kind of staggered her emotionally. That was a lot. That was very heavy for Irecha. Beautiful role play, by the way. Just chef's kiss. So that staggered her. And then she's been so hyper focused on what we have to do to survive, what we have to do for our village. We can't spare any resources. We can't share any food. And then she's seeing this monstrosity, and she's just thinking, it's like, you know what? I can probably see why it did what it did before, because what is life compared to whatever she's seen? So she's probably starting to cry. Not the choking sob, but like where the ducts, fill up and the tears are streaming down her face. She's on alert because whatever this thing is. So it's probably one of those things where the hairs on her arms are starting to rise, like that crackle of electricity is running underneath her skin. She's going to walk past Telos and just kick him in the face. This isn't like a full brunt in the face. This is like putting her boot on the side of his face like that. Enough to get his attention. And she's going to walk directly into the line of sight of this creature, full view with her crying. And she's going to say, "What did this to you?"
Fantastic. Okay. So, Telos and Vostara, what are you doing in these instances? You wake Telos, and you can see Irecha heading straight towards what you now spot to be this large shadow. And to be clear, they are big. They're because of
Just
the sort
the
of
one?
horse body is significantly taller. Sorry?
Just the one that we can see?
Just the one.
Okay.
Vostara, you are awake. You have your weapons nearby. You're a little more ready than Telos is.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go. You're awake first.
No, you were talking first. I just got excited. Sorry.
Sames. In that case, as I'm pushed over, my eyes will blink open, and so I'll take in the surroundings first, and then aware of what's happening, I'm gonna make eye contact with Vostara, and I'm gonna motion to quiet and point in the other direction with the intent that I'm going to grab my gear and slink off towards the side to kind of flank it and get an eye line on it so I can draw a bow and be pointed at it in case it attacks. So I'll slide off and try and stay unnoticed for the time being.
Okay, fantastic. Can you make a move quietly check for me?
Yar. Okay, that's good. That's a success. 35 under 55.
Right. You
65.
roll and you begin to creep through, dodging this thing relatively easily. Vostara.
Yeah, I'll clock Telos. Like, okay, I got you. But I'm gonna grab Kahet's sword and kind of just hold it near me.
Sick.
And walk towards Irecha, like very slowly, very cautiously, because I'm not sure if this thing is undead or not. It looks undead to me.
Oh, true.
And so I'm like kind of confused at why she's talking with it, but she clearly seems upset, and so I'm gonna grab his sword to kind of be ready to.
Perfect. You reach out and you grab the sword, and if you'll permit me a little creative license, so the last time when you were fleeing, you sort of got into that raised area hiding from the tentacled creature. You grabbed the sword as like a religious thing to keep you safe, but you had your own weapon. You hadn't really grabbed it with the intention to use. Say now you grab the het sword and you go to draw it, and Thor's hammer style, suddenly you feel like a surge of magic. You are an apprentice priest of Humacht, and this is a holy blade. You will be able to wield this, and you will be able to accept this. But can you give us like an awesome moment for the first time you bring this sword out of its scabbard, an effect, or maybe it's just the absence of one that is remarkable in itself.
Yeah. So the idea I kind of had with this is that it's not it wouldn't be considered like sacrilegious or unholy to use it, especially if it's like for something undead or like, you know, to pass on to death, right? Like that would be its like almost like it's not a have to, but that would be like using it to its full potential before, you know, putting it on the altar. And so it's almost like Volstara sees this as like in a, you know, oh, this is an opportunity. And so that's why she grabbed. And then so like she pulls it out. And I guess it's very similar to like when she casts a spell. I think her eyes are gonna roll back into her head. And she's gonna get almost very still, but still like her body goes still, but her arms still moving. And she just like feels like the surge of power, but it's not actually casting a spell.
Sick.
Fantastic. That's great. So for reference, Humacht, when you make a Humacht character, you get a set of gifts and geases. I always pronounce that wrong. Geases. I've only ever read it in books. Leave me alone. They're like responsibilities that are applied upon you. Your character has one which gives you a bonus to your sword skill, but in return, you cannot use shields. Now,
Oh, sick.
Kahet also had ones. And one of the ones that he had, the gift at least, provided him with a magical sword that deals double damage against undead. So as you draw it, you become aware that that is the effect of this blade. So this will deal 2 times, which is, you know, a spectacular amount.
Do you get a sense of the gears as well? Like the cost of wielding it?
Hell yeah. Do you want to make a death rune check real quick?
Ooh.
Yes,
I
death rune.
love the whole like boon and
that's
bane
gorgeous.
kind of whatever. Yeah, that's so much fun. I want one of those.
11.
11?
Holy
nice.
cow, nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, let me get the yeah, I'll be honest here. I knew he was gonna die, so I didn't roll on the gears.
Page
do you wanna
297,
roll-
Jim, if you want it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, do you want to? Why don't we let you generate this, Vostara? Do you want to roll a D100?
Yeah. Ooh, use my llama dice. Okay, here we go. 49. 49.
49 would get you drink no alcoholic beverages.
Oh, he's a teetotaler.
So there you go. Not a massive, terrible one. The worst one you would be able to get is 81 to 85, just next to the shield one, and that is cannot love. One of them is also wear no metal armor, which is worse than the one that you have applied to yourself, Dave. So
Shut up. I'm getting armor. I can't afford it yet.
I'm getting there.
I want
I'm
armor.
poor.
First guy we kill, I'm taking it.
Well, this guy's got a bit. Anyway. So you pull out your weapon, and you step forward. And another time a second, you are adopting a ready stance. You're not diving down. You're not getting too close. You're holding back at this point. You are going to be aware that as the sword is in your hand, it doesn't like ring out with blood for this thing. You know, you would immediately go, this probably isn't an undead. You step forward towards it and you say, who did this to you? The creature sags backwards for a second. It's been spotted and it's been terrified and it looks like it's about to run, and it goes and goes to cough. What languages do you speak?
That's a great question.
The default language for the region of Sartar, which is the region that you are in, is Hjortling. So that is what everybody would commonly speak. Vostara, you also speak some of the languages of Lunatash. This thing speaks primarily beast speech.
I've got beast speech.
You do?
Yes.
That's so. As you,
It's
you
not
can,
huge,
you'll
but
be able
I've
to hear
got
what
it.
it says. Sorry?
I've got 40 in it for what it's worth.
That's Yinkin, disciple over here, you are able to hear this. Otherwise, you would have to rely on trade talk, which is kind of like the common equivalent. But I'll be clear, trade talk is these are the languages that are assumed that centaurs have, who are, you know, centaurs that have grown up in centaur community. This is not a normal centaur, so its trade talk might be a little limited, might be limited to beast speech a bit more. You, Telos, can hear it say, it starts to go, sorry, no, leave me, please, stop. But to the outside, it's going, and kind of choking these strange
Fucking
words.
hell.
It's really scared, Iracha. I will ask you to make, I think probably an orate check, maybe. I could see otherwise a charm check. If you have any other suggestions.
No, because she just doesn't want him to rabbit at this point.
Yeah, that's
He's been
exactly.
seen,
Yeah.
He didn't charge. He didn't flee. He's in that weird paralysis state. And she recognized he's speaking a language that the brother probably like speaks in his sleep sometimes when he's on the floor of whatever kitchen she's manning. So there's a connect there. She just needs to get him to stay. So yeah, if she could, hey, can I skip orate and do a sing?
Yeah, 100%. That is awesome. You can absolutely start to sing to it.
Okay, so she's
Try
gonna
and kill
just
it.
skip through the Rolodex of the songs that her mother used to sing, and she's gonna try to catch one of those really soothing lullaby songs. She's gonna throw both of her hands up, and she's gonna start singing towards it in any type of gesture of I'm not gonna hurt you.
I love that. Universal language of song doesn't need translation, so I'm not going to apply a negative here. So you don't take negative 20 from it. You can roll with your sing score.
Okay.
Now you previously, I believe, augmented your scan, so you will not be able to augment this, but you can just roll against your sing as per usual.
All right, guys, this is a 59. Rabble 93.
Oh no.
93. Okay, fantastic. That's still not going to be a fumble because you've got 53. Also, 93 fumble would be excessive. But you start to kind of softly whisper to this thing, and it. You clearly affect it, but you seem to be affecting it in a way that is making it almost more upset, as if hearing the lullaby kind of letting any sort of softness into its body is hurting it. It kind of groans. It starts to twist its neck, and you can see muscle bulge and stretch underneath it. Vostara, do you want to be doing anything at this point?
So I'm probably gonna put the sword. So I don't feel like it's undead, so I'm probably gonna resheath the sword, but still hold it just in case.
Yep.
I'm gonna walk a little bit closer, but I don't want to interrupt this moment, even though he seems to be more upset. They seem to be more upset. I'm just gonna slowly get closer as they're interacting. So.
Fantastic. You begin to approach. So I'll put you. You are close enough to it if you wanted to say lunge or block if it's about to charge, for example. Tell us in the meantime. You get close to this thing. Having failed your sing roll, Rachel, this thing is going to run. It's going to try and tear away. It keeps speaking in that strange voice. Sorry, no, please, no, and it goes to turn and run.
Fucking hell.
Vostara and Telos, you are both close enough to do something if you would like. Rachel, you stopped a little further back and you attempted to sing, sort of was your method. So I think you're kind of caught here at the minute, but your lullaby is still echoing out.
I will have tried to flank around, and I was keeping a bit of distance because I was intending to use my bow. But hearing it apologize, I'm not good at social stuff.
But at least you speak the language.
I think I will.
Ooh, tough decisions. Well, if you'd like, if you want to describe it in a vague way to keep it sneaky to us, Vostara can see you sneaking up behind. If you don't want to name the skill until we see your action, we can do it like that.
I don't know what I want to do here. I'm going to. I don't have the skill set for this. I'm not good at talking.
Have a think, Vostara. You're close enough to lunge. It's going to run. So if you have it, I mean, you can attack it if you want, although it does appear to be in flight at this stage. It is leaving. Up close, its wounds are even more sort of horrific, and you can see this sort of patchwork abomination style, plastered together.
I would like to use demoralize again, but weaken instead of force retreat.
That is a to clarify, because I wrote that on your sheet probably a bad way. Demoralize. So if it fails, it still weakens them. Is the idea. So even if they
I don't want to make them retreat.
So you have
Never
already
mind.
achieved the effect of the moralize. It plans to sprint away.
Okay, never
yeah.
mind. I was hoping to like make it weaker, but
Chill it out.
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
If you wanted to do something like that, you could try and spring for it and try and grapple the damn thing, but this is like you leaping forward and trying to like, wait, holding onto it, hoping that maybe Talos dives in as well. Although...
Like, grabbing the thing is...
Great, yeah, it's a pretty offensive move. And this thing doesn't look altogether, stable, I suppose you'd say.
Unless Telos directs me to do something, like to catch it or whatever, I'm actually going to step back.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Because if it wants to run away, then I think it should.
Yeah.
All right, you take a step backwards and you wait. Tell us.
I think I have heard it say sorry. I can see it's aggravated, and I no longer perceive it as a threat. We're going to let the dice decide how things go. So I am going to stand up from the side and call out in beast speech, which I don't know how beast speech completely works, but I imagine I've got like a different dialect. Mine comes from Yinkin, which is a much more like, it's the suave cat, the quiet word, the shadow of whispers and moonlight sills. I've got a different like vibe for it. So like echoing along the fog, like creeping between the trees, comes the words, I will repeat what Iratia said actually, and I'll say, who did this to you? And then let us avenge you, I think is what I'm gonna go with. And I kind of want to make a charm roll, even though my charm sucks ass.
I don't care. Good luck.
I love this. Okay, so that's fantastic. I love that interpretation of beast speech, and that works super effectively. One thing I'll say is that beast speech is typically very hard for humans to speak, just based on the architecture of their throats. So you might be doing it in some kind of vaguely magical way, or it might be that just you've practiced. You're a Yinkin, worshiper. You've just learnt to do it in these whispers.
I've just randomly early on I decided I want Telos to have a vaguely like Eastern European accent or something. Could that be a byproduct of I speak like that's my like it's kind of fucked with my common tongue as well, so I kind of have a butchered accent across both now, because that's like no one else in our village has that. That's my beast speech leaning across a little bit, so that's why I can do both.
That is awesome, and I completely love that. Brilliant.
There we go.
Brilliant.
Retroactively making sense of random ass decisions we do.
It's dope. I love it.
All right.
That's perfect. So it's going to be charm.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to give you plus 20
I think
here.
that's fair.
No penalty because you're speaking into beast speech, but it has been caught and it had the sing failed.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a flat roll against your charm.
Okay.
Did you have an augment spare? Did you say?
Where did I? Yeah, I do have an.
You could
I don't
just
think I
beast
augmented.
room. I'd be perfectly happy with that.
I don't think I'm going for beast here. I think I'm going for harmony, which is lower, but I think that's where the vibe is at the moment. So I'm going to augment with my harmony, which is 60. Something that my sister and I share. So I'm rolling under 60 first of all.
Excellent.
And that is going to just succeed. That's 56.
All right. Plus 20%.
Brings me to 40. Come on, you weird thing. Like me. 65 over 40.
65.
Unfortunately
You
not.
turn. This thing spots you. Its eyes widen. You can see like it would have like its ear would have twitched in recognition, but this thing is such a mess that the slight involuntary movements of like reflexes send twists of agonizing pain shooting down its body. You can see rippling muscles as it cramps. It shrieks, twists its head, and at last it's too much. It turns, it runs. This time you have failed to keep it there, but you have opened the door. This isn't necessarily the end. You are only a few hours now from the Quiet Stone, where you will be able to get more information and be able to track down the Dancer in the Dark, ideally. You know that in some way centaurs are linked to ancient times, and so is this thing that you are hunting. The answers that you seek are close, and assuming you can survive the giant shadows of flying dinosaurs, you should be able to seize them. But I think we will leave the session here. since we have just about hit our end time.
God
Thank you
damn.
so much, the three of you. It was absolutely wonderful playing with you all. Thank you for joining us. Harley, as a special guest, we will be back next week, where we'll be playing more RuneQuest and continuing this storyline. Remember that there is a special Regency stream tomorrow, and remember to check out the newly released Regency Cthulhu on chaosium.com. I'll throw across to everybody to say goodbye. Harley, would you like to tell people where they can find you online and say farewell?
Yeah, so again, my name is Harley Kane. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Harley Kane. And yeah, this was so fun. I'm already I want to play again. So
I'm glad you enjoy RuneQuest. It's fantastic fun. Bridget.
Yeah, hello. My name is Bridget Jeffries. Again, one of your neighborhood-friendly community ambassadors at Chaosium. So if you are looking to write for Call of Cthulhu, 7th Sea, RuneQuest, Woot Woot, and soon Pendragon, feel free to shoot me an email, and I can get you plugged in with resources and courses and classes and communities, Discord servers and Facebook groups, and all these fun, amazing things to make sure that you feel insulated and supported through the process. And you can email me at Bridget@chaosium.com. That is a bridge that you walk across with 2 T's at chaosium.com.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bridget. Dave?
Rock and roll. Cheers, Jimbo. That was fun. Can't wait to fight a dinosaur. Looking forward to next week. So I actually misspoke earlier as well. Harley's not going to be on the Regency stream. Harley's on another stream which we recorded recently. So just a little teaser of the forthcoming content. That's going to be one that's coming out later this month. So there's a lot of stuff to stay tuned for. So once again, Regency stream tomorrow, and then later this week, join us for the Two-Headed Serpent, where everything is cooked there as well. Except Jim's kind of encroaching onto horror in this stream, so I'm going to have to dial up the insanity and madness on the other. Or maybe I'll introduce a bunch of fantasy tropes. See how you like it.
Pull in some RuneQuest stuff. Yeah.
you said the Regency stream, and I was like, is that what it was?
I guess.
I don't remember it being Regency, but
No, that's my bad.
Okay.
Thank you for not calling us out.
Yeah. No.
I was like, sure, maybe that's what it's
Wrong.
called.
All right, brilliant. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks again to Sirenscape for helping us improve the game. Thank you to everybody for joining us. We will see you again sometime soon, and have a fantastic rest of the day.